Hello again, Roy.RealEstate here with Coldwell Banker Legacy in San Angelo. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the pre-approval process and why that's an important part of the home buying process. Now, occasionally we have buyers that get a little bit offended when one of the first things a real estate agent asks them when they call is, are you pre-approved? But there's very good reasons we do that. So understand that the pre-approval is the first step in the home buying process because it is one of the most important steps you can take. Without the pre-approval, then no one really knows if the buyer's ready to buy. So it shows from the buyer's point of view that they're serious, and it shows the real estate agent that this person's ready to move forward and we're ready to go start looking at houses to find the one that fits within the criteria. So now the pre-approval process is really fairly simple. Basically what you're going to do is get in contact with the loan originator, and a lot of times you can do this part online or something like that. So you're going to give them your social security number so that they can run a credit check. You're going to give them your income, your assets, your liabilities. So any things you own, any debts you have on those, and your monthly bills and stuff like that, and they'll generate a pre-approval amount. This isn't the final amount. For them to get a final amount later in the process, they'll have to get a lot more information and get documentation of the information that you've given them. So this will give them just a quick, rough rule of thumb. So, and I've talked a little bit before, and we'll continue to hammer on the importance of using a local lender. I recommend Jenny Connell at Legacy Lending. Jenny's very good, was a real estate agent before she was in lending, and so she has the experience, well-rounded experience, and works hard to get everything done properly. But we have many local lenders in San Angelo that are very good. And say local, they have an office in San Angelo, and that's an important piece of it. Had a situation recently with, it was an out-of-town lender, and when it got right down to the last week before we're ready to close, the title company had actually emailed the contact they had at the lender trying to get a certain piece of information that they needed to finish up and get ready to close. Well, the person they emailed was not the one that handled it. And again, because they were an out-of-town lender, they just didn't know. If it had been a local lender, they would have known. And so it delayed us a couple of days in getting everything closed because that person didn't respond because it wasn't their job. They weren't the right person for that, and it took a little bit of time, more than it should have, to get forwarded. So again, local lenders, we've got very many, and very many good ones. They will help you through the process. They're here. You can walk in and talk to them when you need to. A lot of times you don't. Again, 99% of it, sometimes 100% can be done remotely. But it's really good having someone here who knows the local people. The other thing with using a local one is it helps when you're making an offer on a property. It helps the buyer and their agent to feel confident in your approval. You bring them a pre-approval from somebody else online that they've never heard of, and if there's, as there is frequently in our market today, there's competing offers. So they got 2 or 3 offers coming in. Well, your offer may even be a little higher in price than some of the others, but if you bring an approval from a lender that they don't know and don't trust, don't have a relationship with, then it weakens your standing as they're comparing those offers. So that can be a very important thing as well. Some loan originators are bad about they kind of do a real quick one, throw out a number that they, when it comes right down to it, they know they're not going to be able to hit. So instead of approving you for $180,000, they approve you for $200,000. You go out and find a house for $195,000, and then when it comes to the final loan approval, they realize, oh no, we can't do that because you've got this, and this that they didn't take into consideration before. So good ones will spend a little extra time in the pre-approval process to try to get a really good approval. So once that is in place, then you're ready to move forward. That's the time really you can do that before you call me, or you can just call me and then we'll work through that part of the process real quickly. But that's an important part because it shows me you're serious, but most importantly, it shows that the seller's agent that you're serious. Most agents in San Angelo today, particularly, we have a very active market. So when they receive a written offer on a property, if there isn't a pre-approval, then they start questioning things. Okay, is this person for real? Are they really wanting to jump on and buy this house, or are they just, kind of just throwing stuff out there? But with that pre-approval, it gives them a much greater comfort level that you as a buyer are serious and ready to move forward with the process. So it's very important all the way around, especially in an active market. And there's times when it's a slow market and it's not quite as big a deal, you've got a little more time, but Every agent, whether they're a buyer's agent or a seller's agent, has had a client that kept promising they would get them the pre-approval, and they drug their feet and stuff like that. And so some agents will get very hesitant about showing properties and stuff like that if they don't have a pre-approval. Because again, it tells the agent that the buyer is serious about the process. They're really ready to get started. They're not just dreaming of what they want to do sometime in the future. So that's kind of the reason behind all that and why it's very important. Again, the loan process is an integral part of the whole thing. You know, you have the finding of the house. Yes, that's an important thing. But once you've found the house, the lender, the title company doing the title research, making sure that the title's clean, and then the inspections and all that stuff, making sure the condition of the house is right, are the most critical parts of the process. So it's very, very important from the beginning to get all that right. Make sure it's all done. So again, I recommend Jenny Connell at Legacy Lending, but there are many other good ones in San Angelo. Some of them can really do amazing things when it comes down to the last minute and there's a difficulty. Just they understand the process, and that really makes a big difference when things get critical. And you also want them to, it's important for them to be someone you trust, because they're going to have a lot of your financial information. I don't get that financial information. All they will tell me is, yeah, they're pre-approved for X amount of dollars. But they'll have your social security number, they're going to have all your income, they're going to have tax returns, all this stuff before it's all said and done. So you want one that you can trust with that data. So again, the pre-approval process is one of the first steps, if not the first step in the home buying process, should be. And so it's important for you as a buyer to get that done first, then start finding houses. And you can do it a little bit together, but you don't want to get very far down the road, because what happens when you walk in that house that is just what you're looking for, you're ready to make an offer on it, but you haven't done your pre-approval yet. And again, our active market today, by the time you take just 2 or 3 days to get a pre-approval, that house is already under contract. So you don't want to miss out on it by not being ready from the beginning. So go get your pre-approval before you get serious about looking at houses. Have any questions, give me a call. Roy.RealEstate, 325-268-0775. Thank you.